What I want to accomplish tonight is a couple of things. One is for the people that I represent, the people that we all represent, have an idea as to what is the expectations that we should have as citizens when we have a major
Your
snow event.
resources, which means you need to manage your salt and your sand supply. You need to maintain your equipment in operational condition at all times, and you need to rest your men, which is imperative. We have a very limited supply of manpower as a department. Once we go through that initial first night, you can expect maybe 5 or 6 guys to work the very next day. Everybody is gone. They're all in bed sleeping, anticipating coming in that night to do the pushback of the B side of the street. So we're left with a basic skeleton crew from 7 a.m., maybe 11 o'clock. We might be able to entice the guys to stay a little bit longer until we come back in at night. We will not leave contractors out there on their own, unsupervised. When it starts to snow, flakes start coming down. Let's pick a scenario. Let's say we're going to see 10 inches of snow. Let's say it's going to start at 3 in the morning. We'll stage our people. Our city people will tell them, you need to be in at 3 o'clock. Fill all of our trucks for 3 o'clock. We know we're going to get 10 inches of snow. We know it's going to start at 3 in the morning. We need to be out before it starts to snow to put down some material, to set up a brine. It starts to snow. We're getting 1 inch or 2 an hour. We get 2 inches on the ground. Looks like we're going to 3. We cannot burn it off with salt anymore. Bring in the contractors. We know we're going to see 10 inches. The time frame is what matters. If we're going to see a quick 10, maybe 6 or 7 hours, we'll bring everybody right away. If it's going to be a 3-day event, we'll phase them in. If we're going to get 10 inches over 3 days, we're not going to put contractors on right away and keep them on the books for 3 days. We would phase them in just to stay with the storm. And then, if we needed to get bigger, we get bigger. We need to get smaller, we get smaller. But when we call people to the outside, it's a 4-hour minimum. So we're very judicious when we call. To a point where we have the streets opened up enough where we feel comfortable that we can pull away and come back and hit it at night. We'll leave the roads open. It really doesn't make sense for us to be out during the daytime, stuck in traffic, trying to plow around people, around cars, around garbage barrels, around garbage trucks. We can't get our work done then. It's really just a waste of effort. People are throwing it back in. As fast as we push it over to the side, they're throwing it back in. We'd rather come in at night when everybody's safely tucked where they're supposed to be, in bed, the cars are where they're supposed to be, and then we come in and we
Hopefully.
make hay. Once we get to we know we're going to be over 3 inches, then we're going to bring in our contractors. It's going to be beyond our ability to stay with it after 3. During a snow event or in a heavy rain event, whatever the catastrophe might be upon us, we would put someone at that desk. That number is 978-620-3350. The only thing we will not do is we will not open people's driveways. If we start that, there's a lot of houses that want their driveway open.
Yes.
The Department of Public Works does not enforce the parking ordinance.
Okay.
We do not own a tow truck. We do not own a ticket book. On a night that we might not be plowing, say it's snowing tonight, and it's expected to go through the night. We wouldn't tow tonight. We would tow tomorrow night. Or rather, the police would tow tomorrow night. Because we're in the middle of a snow event. We're trying to keep the roads open. We're not necessarily concerned about ensuring that there's parking available. We're trying to keep the roads open. If there was a vehicle in the way, we had one the other night on Woodland Street. We come around the corner near Platt. It's a little tight there, a couple cars parked side by side. The driver could not get by. He called me. We called down the desk at the yard.
Police department?
No, we called our DPW dispatcher, and I asked them to call the police department and send traffic control up. Traffic control at that point would make the decision, tow the car or go knock on the door and get someone out here. Things like people complain that we only salt the middle of the road. There's a reason we do that. The middle of the road is curved. It's concave. You salt the middle, it starts to melt, it weeps down, and starts that brine on the outside edges. You use less material that way. I have gotten some emails from just about every DPW director in the Commonwealth. Basically, they're kind of picking our brain, and we're picking theirs about budget, how many sidewalks they do, what kind of equipment, that type of thing. And every one of them is struggling with the sidewalk issue. And it's going to become a major issue. In fact, there is something about ADA that's going to come and really pound every city in town very, very shortly.
Because we got our people are in the street basically walking in some of these areas.
Yeah, even, some DPW directors are telling me that they'll do an impeccable job on their sidewalks. People still not using them. They will still walk in the street. And some cities and towns, some more affluent communities, really go wild on the sidewalks, and still, those DPW directors are telling me that they still walk in the street. We do get quite a bit of cooperation from the residents in certain areas, other folks not so much. And I do know the fire department has been out banging away at a few of those hydrants, and
they did ask for folks to help.
yeah, I mean,
And it needs to be said more widely that the fire department would like the help of people if you see that there is a hydrant near your home that
I think
can
there needs to be outreach
unshoveled,
for that,
but
absolutely.
they should definitely do it because if they don't do it, then we're gonna have firefighters out there shoveling it. We're already short-manned for firefighters, so I think it's important, a note to get out there to folks.
I think you'd be pretty upset if you've got a firefighter who hurt his back shoveling out a hydrant and he was out on ILD. Mr. Laplante's, Council Laplante's area was one area where we did have some concern initially this year, where we had too many pickup trucks. So we did away with a few 7 pickup trucks over there and added some bigger pieces, a couple of 10-wheelers, some 6-wheel dumps, some backhoes with plow blades on them to upsize that area.
I know the ordinance states trash can go out after 5 p.m. on Monday night for Tuesday morning pickup. If there's a snow event and people putting the trash out on a Monday night, such as when we're going out trying to plow, now we've got cars on this side, trash barrels on that side.
Yeah.
Where do we go? If they could wait till that next morning on the way out, then we're good. We can push back this side of the street. We won't have to worry about it again. But that's an issue we've run into. Or they'll put it in the snowbanks. Yeah, we try not to rebury it. But again, we try to open up those roads as far as we can. Trash will get buried. We'll find it in April.
Yeah.
We'll end up getting complaints then. But just that little common sense stuff. If they could wait till that next morning, it's going to save everybody a world of problem. Us, the trash company, all that stuff. I know.
Shovel the hydrants in front of your house if you can.
Trash.
Take the trash out in the morning right before you go out.
Exactly.
Don't throw the snow back onto the street.
Don't throw the snow back into the street.
Accomplish those 3 guys, and believe me,
and
dinner's on me.
Listen, and call you if there's an issue. And call the number. We talked about the number. I'm going to say it again just so we have it. 978-620-3350. I'm sure any one of the counselors will take a call too.